we arrive at the final of the today's Digital Leadership Webinar Summit 2025, which is the closing keynote. So this closing keynote will be presented by Miss Adeline Tiah. And in this session, we are going to wrap up the comprehensive recap of today's key insights, and also this session will equip us with a visionary perspective of the transformative changes in leadership in the digital landscape. So more importantly, it will leave us with a call to action, empowering each of us to translate today's learning into a tangible strategies for our organizations and for ourselves. So leading this keynote is none other than Adeline Tiah, a leadership and team coach, organizational development expert, and the author of reinvent 4.0, a transformative work focusing on the future of work. And Adeline brings over 25 years of leadership experience across telco and banking industries, including roles at M1, HSBC, UOB, and Standard Chartered. She is also an ICF professional certified coach and has been recognized as a LinkedIn top voice on the future of work. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Miss Adeline Tiah as she takes the stage to inspire all of us in the last session of today. Please welcome.
Thank you, Leka. Thanks for inviting me to this Digital Leadership Summit. Well, in the last couple of hours, I've sat in through so many content, so many presentations, and definitely there's a wealth of insights. So in my segment, I'm going to take you to the future and what the future will look like. Let me start by sharing slides. And once again, a welcome to everybody. It's incredible. Thank you for staying through to the end of today's session. You have proven that you're among those who refuse to wait for that future to find you, but you are here to seek it out, to understand it, and to help shape how it unfolds. So let me start with this quote. The future is already here. It is just unevenly distributed. These famous words were from the science fiction author William Gibson. And it is so true today. And you've heard from the previous speakers how technology and innovation is disrupting how we work and live. Let me take you to year 2035. Meet Sophia, a young professional living in a beachside home. Sophia's first meeting of the day starts at 8:30, but it's not at a conference room. It is a virtual collaboration space where Sophia is joining colleagues from around the world in Tokyo, London, and San Francisco. The meeting is powered by augmented reality technology. So instead of just looking at a screen, she feels like she's actually in the room with a team. And while Sophia attends the meeting, her AI personal assistant is analyzing data from the team's recent project and automatically compiling reports. Aria even suggests potential solutions to problems based on the past patterns and knowledge from similar projects. This AI does the heavy lifting, allowing Sophia and the team to focus on creativity and problem solving. And of course, Ariel sends gentle reminder to Sophia that she has a parent-teacher meeting tomorrow and even provides her with a summary of her son's academic progress so that she's prepared for the parent-teacher meeting. And of course, Ariel works with the boss, personal AI assistant, and the supermarket AI-powered concierge. So by end of the day, the fridge delivery arrives at Sophia's doorstep with everything she needs for the week. The house is calm. Sophia feels in control, thanks to her AI assistant managing both her professional and personal life seamlessly. The story that I've just shared could happen in less than 10 years. The future of work and life is intertwined, and we are part of this transformation. In fact, in Times magazine, it says that AI companions will change our lives and will be the future of work. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff said this on the future of work. You must always be able to predict what's next and then have the flexibility to evolve. So what does the future of business look like? Change is no longer constant. It is exponential. What does this mean? I've got statistics to prove it. Let's now take a quiz. What is the organization lifespan in the S&P 500 in 1960s? I'm going to pause here for 30 seconds for all of you in the audience to just put the number on the chat. What is the average lifespan of S&P 500 in the 1960s? Okay, I'm just going to pull out 80, 50, 70, 30, 150. Okay, let me share with you a number. It's 60 years. Let's talk about human lifespan in the 1960s. What do you think was the average life expectancy of people in the 1960s? Again, I'm going to pause for 30 seconds. Pop your numbers onto the chat. Let's see what everybody is saying. 80. Good shot. It's actually 51 years. So it is not surprising that the baby boomers, right, actually have one job in their entire lifespan. But fast forward, in the 2020s, what is the average lifespan of organizations in S&P 500? I'm going to ask you to, again, put it on the chat. What do you think the new numbers is looking like now, 60 years later? 16.5. Our cousin, you're so precise. It's actually 18 years. And of course, not surprising, the average life expectancy of people in the 2020s in Asia is 83 years. Most globally is 73 years. So if you look at the statistics, firstly, organizations' lifespan is getting shorter on S&P 500. People are living longer. What this means is that in our lifetime, we are going to face many inflection points in our life. In the next slide, this graph says it all. Why we need to constantly reinvent. Just like whether it is in an organization or individual, right? When you first started in a career as an individual, you stack up skills, you grow in a career, you peak, and then you reach a peak, and then everything becomes status quo. Even if you do not upskill yourself, you start declining. Likewise, in the context of organizations and leaders, the growth phase, businesses experience rapid growth and success during the initial stages. Peak performance, companies reach their peak, but maintaining this level becomes increasingly challenging. They could either decline or reinvent. We've heard of many stories, classic cases like Kodak and Nokia. Proactive companies start a new growth curve before peak. The same principles apply for individuals, whether you are an employee or you are the business owner. In fact, in a PwC CEO survey in 2024, 63% of CEOs feel their businesses won't survive without reinvention. Why reinvention is critical for businesses? As I shared earlier, it is important for sustainable growth. Look at what happened to Nokia and Kodak. They were complacent, and they failed to see the triggers and the catalysts of change in the market. While Netflix, when they first started off, they actually started out as a video rental company. When the technology was available, they went into video streaming. And today, they use AI to personalize user behavior. Sam Altman had this vision that one day we could see a $1 billion revenue business run by fractional employees. Is this happening? Well, it is happening already in Hollywood. Imagine Gru. All the minions behind him are the AI agents working for him. Is this possible? Well, let me share with you what levels of artificial they are. What we are seeing today is just the basic level, the most pervasive, which is conversational AI. These 5 levels of artificial intelligence is actually developed by Sam Altman together with Google DeepMind. Do you know what are the 5 levels of artificial intelligence? Conversational AI, which is what we are so familiar with. Reasoner AI, level 2. Level 3 is autonomous AI. And level 4, innovative AI. And level 5, organizational AI. In the next couple of slides, I'm going to walk through with you what are the various forms of AI. First, conversational AI. It is designed to stimulate human-like dialogue and interact with users through text or speech. And you're all very familiar with this, right? So I won't go into details. What is reasoner AI examples? Reasoner AI is an artificial intelligence system designed to analyze data, draw conclusions, and make decisions based on logical reasoning and inference. Examples of use cases across different industries: Netflix and Amazon uses AI to develop personalized recommendations. You as a consumer would have experienced it. IBM's Watson supports oncologists, assists doctors in cancer treatment decisions. BlackRock and Aladdin platform uses AI for investment risk assessment. And of course, GE uses AI to predict equipment failures in power plants. This optimizes maintenance schedules and reduces downtime, but more importantly, prevent major mishap. What about autonomous AI? In US, Tesla, Autopilot, and Waymo's autonomous vehicles are revolutionized transportation. Imagine even roles like the Grab drivers will be potentially disrupted. And of course, there's robotic process automation and automated warehouses. Do you know that Amazon today has 750,000 robots working with their employees in the warehouse? You can do a Google on YouTube and look at how they are optimizing AI agents in the warehouse, robots in their warehouse. In fact, they replaced 100,000 of their employees with 750,000 robots. There's one employee replaced by 5 robots. And the next one, what exactly is innovator AI? We are seeing it being used in drug discovery and design, generative design, and even composing music, right? And at this level, AI goes beyond reasoning and autonomy to generate new ideas and solutions that have never been seen before, often creating new ideas and innovations in various fields, like, for example, drug discovery. And of course, the last level, level 5, is organizational AI. Let me give you an example. Imagine Alice. She's a social worker. Today, when she meets a client, her client is in need of healthcare services, unemployment support, housing request, or even education grant. She has to make calls to various agencies to coordinate and work for the client. But with AI personal concierge, imagine all she needs to do is upload her case notes into the AI agent, who is able to process what is required. And of course, the AI robot will connect with the AI personal concierge in the healthcare agency, unemployment agency, housing authority, and the education welfare agency. Every agency will have their customer support agents. And with this, It frees up Alice's time to serve more clients and drive for productivity. Sam Altman envisions AI systems capable of running entire business autonomously, revolutionizing traditional structures. Do you think this would happen? And what is going to happen to organizations and to individuals? How is it going to impact your work? So in the next part, I'm going to introduce a reinvent framework. Reinvent actually represents 8 mindset shifts. It is excerpt from my book, Reinvent 4.0. 4.0 stands for Industrial Revolution 4.0. You have heard earlier the evolution of industrial revolution, right, across from 1 to 4. So this is where we are at this point in time. So it is actually, the framework is developed based on more than 1,000 hours of coaching hours I have with clients and with business leaders to develop this mindset. And I'm going to share with you what it stands for. First, R stands for risk-taking mindset. The biggest risk is not taking any risk, by Mark Zuckerberg. It is about embracing uncertainty. You have heard today's earlier speakers, there's a lot of uncertainty. We need to learn from failure. And it is also about getting out of the comfort zone. Amazon, Jeff Bezos credit their success to thousands of experiments they do per year, per month, and per day. And let me share with you a personal story as well. Years ago, I had 2 job opportunities, a big role in a global MNC and a role in a startup in fintech. Most people would choose to go for a bigger role in a global MNC, managing a team of 100 people. I chose to take a new path. I chose to join the startup because I know that this is going to be the future of work. Building new skills, new way of working, and also equipping myself with new skill sets. Today, after I left corporate, I'm able to use these skills, and now I am a startup advisor at a venture program. So the story here is take intelligent risk. Be willing to get out of the comfort zone. Next, E stands for entrepreneurial thinking. In the future of work, we are no longer paid according to how hard we work. We are to be replaced. Isn't it so true now with artificial intelligence? This requires a paradigm shift. As an individual, that means you need to identify problems to solve. It is no longer about doing a job, but solving a problem. At the organization level, if you familiar, the Chinese white good company, Haier, who has 100,000 employees, they adopted a very entrepreneurial way of culture, where their teams are structured in a very agile squads, comprising of cross-functional team. And each of this team solve a business problem and they have their own P&L. Imagine 100,000 companies, manpower company can actually be so entrepreneurial and be agile. I once coached a senior banker who decided to reinvent, a top-notch banker with an accountancy degree. After 25 years, he didn't know what else to do. But when I helped him review his skill sets and understand what problems he could solve, he put on an entrepreneurial hat. And then many opportunities were open to him. The casino were keen to hire him because of his access to high net worth individuals, real estate for the same reason. Even concierge companies for the high net worth were very keen to tap on his expertise. Eventually, he decided to join a non-profit to help them raise funds. So this is an example of putting on an entrepreneurial hat. You don't need to be an entrepreneur to think like one. The next trait is inclusiveness. Today's workplace spans 5 generations, from baby boomers to Gen Z. Each brings unique perspectives, work styles, and technology comfort zones. Diversity brings different perspectives and innovation into the organization. We have now the Gen people, especially in the backdrop of people living longer at 83 years. What happened as an individual, even when people retired at 50 or 60s, there is still a plenty of runway and a wealth of experience for them to tap into, for organizations to tap into. So as organizations, as leaders, they need to embrace this inclusiveness and be able to harness the diversity of perspectives. The next trait, I like this quote from Cal Newport. Be so good at what you do that no one can ignore you. This is not about personal branding or winning industry accolades. It is about having a mindset of honing your craft and continuously sharpening your saw. At the workplace, as a leader, your team looks to you as a role model. For me, as part of my self-leadership, as I embark on my journey after corporate, I continuously sharpen my saw, honing my coaching skills, delivering keynote to elevate my impact. The next trait is vulnerability. This is something that's often underrated. Let me share with you the story of Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. When he took over Microsoft from Steve Ballmer, he changed the culture. He was vulnerable by ditching the mindset of know-it-all to a learn-it-all mindset. You have heard about it this morning as well. And he transformed a culture of toxic competition to a culture of growth. He embraced humility and he encouraged everybody in organizations to do that. In the first 7 years, the share price tripled. Nobody demonstrated this better than Satya as a good case study. And next, empathy. Back to Satya again. He quoted in his book, Hit Refresh. Life's experience with my son, Zain, has helped me better understand that there is so much more that needs to be done to bring together accessibility and inclusion. His son has a disability. Sadly, he passed away in 2022 at the age of 26 years. But his impact on Microsoft's culture and Satya's empathy and leadership philosophy was big. And that today has shaped both product development and workplace culture. And that explains why Microsoft is still very strong in their brand as well as the share price. And of course, the next trait is networking. You have heard about this quote, your network is your net worth. We are now living in a socially connected world. Your network or social capital is no longer a luxury. It is critical for you as a leader. For me, as a corporate executive, apart from my first 2 jobs, which I applied for as a fresh grad, the rest of my subsequent jobs in various organizations are referred by my network. And even today, as I start my new business, most of my clients are through referrals. So again, this is a very important mindset for at the individual level as well as at organization level. Lastly, T stands for transdisciplinary learning. In the past, we focused on climbing the career ladder. But with so much uncertainty, we need to embrace a new way of working. That includes the concept of building career lattice, because skills shelf life is getting shorter. What this means is you need to take a multidisciplinary approach in learning. Take, for example, if you are a data scientist, learn business skills, which is from a different domain. I have a client who did just that. Today, he's a chief technology officer at a global conglomerate. He rise up the ladder fast because he was building different skill sets and stacking skills along his way up. That gave him broad perspective. Now that you have heard this and the reinvent framework, are you ready to reinvent? In publishing the book, I have created a reinvent framework, and today I work with organizations to help them build a culture of innovation, a culture of connections, and a culture of learning. These are the three pillars that are so important in driving innovation, revenue, employee engagement, well-being, and productivity. So are you ready for the future? Let me end with this quote. The future favors those who are prepared. And with this, I'm going to pass it over to Lekha. And for the audience here, if you are HR practitioner looking to equip your leaders to lead for the future, connect with me. Back to you, Lekha.
Okay, thank you so much, Adeline, for such an inspiring and an insightful closing session for today's Digital Leadership Webinar Summit. And we are very grateful for the time and the energy you've dedicated to sharing your knowledge. You break down how to reinvent ourselves in this ever-changing digital landscape. And thank you for taking us into the future. And thank you once again for leaving us with valuable tools to shape the future of organization. And everyone, if you want to connect with Adeline, you can, because after this, we're going to share the whole presentation of our today's speakers. And as we wrap up, I'm going to start sharing my screen again. And we'd like to take a moment to thank you for joining us today. And before you go, we kindly ask you to complete simple feedback for our webinar today. Simply scan this QR code or go to bit.ly/dwsfs feedback. And your input is very valuable to us and for us to create a better and more inspiring events in the future. So thank you once again for being a part of this event. We truly appreciate your time and insight.
There's one question for you.
Oh, I think we have one question for Adeline in the chat box. Yes, Adeline, you can answer that question in the chat box as well. As we wrap up and we approach the end of this incredible summit, we, the New in Asia team, would like to extend our gratitude and heartfelt thanks to all of you, the participants, the speakers, for your active engagement and enthusiasm that you bring throughout the day. So it has been encouraging to engage with the community through online platform and to foster collaboration and exchange knowledge. We'd love to connect with all of you. Visit our website and follow our LinkedIn and also email us at hello@newinasia.com. We'd like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers and who shared their experience and insight and knowledge today, making the summit truly a transformative event. To our participants, thank you so much for your enthusiasm, your reply in the chat box, your question and commitment to growth. So your presence has been a vital part in making this summit a success. Lastly, a special thank you to our supporting partners for the unwavering support and collaboration. Thank you to Peanuts.ai to make this summit more inclusive, Kidstarter, Asia Pro Ventures, AP Academy, CEO Asia, 25 years more, Enable, SG Catalyst, and Soft Education for supporting today's event. Thank you once again for being a part of the Digital Leadership Webinar Summit 2025. Stay curious, stay inspired, and let's continue to shape the future of leadership together. Goodbye and have a great week ahead, everyone.